Hi, this is Shamila Pereira from Manaba Consultants. I get so many calls, emails, and text messages from many people inside Canada right now on temporary foreign worker permits or student permits, asking me for advice on the different pathways they can take to remain in Canada. Most have come, almost everybody has come with the intention of long-term stay in Canada to gain permanent residency, to be with their family. Most of them have been here 5, 6, 7 years. Their kids are going to school. They are basically immersed into the Canadian society. Some of their kids have been born here, and others have not known their home country because they have come from other countries into Canada and have not been to their home country for many years. So it is a sad situation. However, what I tell everybody is that there are ways to stay, and then if there's no way to stay, please do go back home no matter what. Because at the end of the day, applying for a bogus refugee status is not the answer to your problems. And a lot of the people who have applied for refugee status is going to be facing consequences because they have applied after staying here for a very long period of time, or that they would be considered as a bogus refugee application. One of the things that you can consider though legally is to become a student of Canada. If you have already studied in Canada and are on a postgraduate work permit, you know that you cannot apply for a second postgraduate work permit. And, sometimes this is the focus of people, but my thing is don't make it the focus. My thing is that if you are on a postgraduate work permit and you know and understand you cannot get a second postgraduate work permit, and you still want to go and study a program, a 2-year program like a master's degree or a postgraduate diploma, do that. Because this means that you get to stay in Canada for 2 years more. You get a permit to work, you get a permit to study, and this will also buy you time, because in time, different immigration programs will come through. It's not going to be the same as today. 2 years from now or 1 year from now, there may be other pathways that open that can qualify you to apply for residency. Get into a program where, there are provinces that will allow you to apply for permanent residency while studying there in Canada, because you've already studied, you've already worked, and and if you have a job offer, you can apply for residency as well in those provinces. So guidance is extremely necessary, and to know which program to choose, which province to choose is also very necessary. Now, if you have never been a student of Canada, you have come here on a temporary work permit, that's even better, because if you do a program of studies for 2 years, then you know you're going to get a postgraduate work permit, depending, of course, on the new regulations, and if you're able to secure a job in a job that's basically matching your student permit or the course of studies that you have done. So there are conditions to meet, but it's not as if you cannot be eligible for a postgraduate work permit. If you are married and if you have kids, then it becomes a little more complicated, because if they need to stay, then obviously you need to do a master's degree, and to qualify for a master's degree is hard in terms of IELTS, or you have had to have previous previous graduate studies as well. So there are conditions to meet, but it's not something that you cannot do. And I encourage everybody to consider this, moving from an LMIA work permit to a study permit, or moving from a postgraduate permit to a study permit again, maybe with court, maybe without, in order for you to buy time to qualify for different other programs, and mostly to ensure that you are continuing to stay in Canada. If you require us to do a pathway for you, call us, and we can look at the entire scenario of you, your family, and give you a clear understanding of the way forward, because that, I believe, is what's missing for most people. There's no clear pathway for moving forward. And that creates anxiety, and that creates so much heartache for everybody. But if you have a clear pathway, whether it is to stay in Canada or whether I will be upfront and say, you know what, you have no clear pathway to stay in Canada, go back home, stay there for a couple of years, and then maybe there will be programs for you to come back. Either which way, we will be providing you an honest opinion and an honest pathway. And this is what we do at Ann Arbor, and I look forward to assisting many of you create a pathway for many of you that will give you an understanding of where you are today and where you can be in 2 years' time. Again, this is Shamila Pereira from Ann Arbor Consultants.